Good afternoon. It's Wednesday, July 29. I'm Mai Rodriguez for your midday report. We'll be giving you the stories shaping the nation at this hour. In the headlines, the prosecution presents its first witness in Vice President Sara Duterte's alleged misuse of confidential funds. The BIR files over 400 million pesos in tax evasion cases against a POGO-linked firm and a construction firm, as well as real estate sellers. At least 13 people are confirmed dead in the magnitude 7.1 quake that hit Japan. And major K-pop agencies unite for the inaugural Fanomenon next year in South Korea. The prosecution presents its first witness on Article 1, alleging misuse in confidential funds as the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte enters day 10. A former branch manager of Land Bank testified that the OVP's 125 million peso cash withdrawal was unusual. Let's check what's happening at the Senate. Hannah T joins us live from there. Hannah, what's the latest on the trial?
An unusual and probably a once-in-a-lifetime cash withdrawal. That was how a former Land Bank branch manager described the withdrawal of the office of the Vice President's 125 million in cash, one of 4 separate checks of the same amount transferred to the OVP. On day 10 of Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment trial, retired Land Bank branch manager Violeta Constantino said she had never encountered a cash withdrawal of that size in her 32 years with a government bank. Constantino said the amount was not the only unusual part of the transaction. She explained that other government clients may also disburse large amounts, but these are usually released through checks or online payment systems, not withdrawn as cash. When Senator Judge Risa Ontiveros asked whether a 125 million cash withdrawal could be considered once in a lifetime, Constantino said it could. When asked by Senator Judge Erwin Tulfo whether such a large withdrawal was normal for a government agency, Constantino answered that it was unusual and that no other agency handled by her branch had made a similarly large cash withdrawal. The OVP's account, she said, was transferred to their Land Bank branch in September 2022 after the office moved to Pioneer Street in Mandaluyong. Despite the size of the transaction, Constantino said the bank did not ask the OVP what the money would be used for because the office had sent advance notice and the withdrawal had gone through its internal process. She also testified that the bank was not informed that the cash would come from the OVP's confidential or intelligence funds. Senator Judge Bam Aquino later established that the funds had already been downloaded from the National Treasury to the OVP, with Special Disbursing Officer Gina Acosta named as the payee of the check. Asked whether government transactions are covered by anti-money laundering rules, Constantino said there's no exemption for government transactions and that amounts above 500,000 pesos are supposed to be reported as covered transactions. But she invoked the confidentiality provisions of the anti-money laundering law when asked whether the OVP withdrawals had actually been reported. The OVP withdrew 4 tranches of 125 million each from Land Bank, totaling 500 million pesos. It was noticed by Senator Judge Ping Lacson that it seemed the transactions were made almost quarterly. That's from December 2022, January of 2023, April and July of the same year. OVP Special Disbursing Officer Gina Acosta received and encashed the checks.
Hannah, can the transaction be illegal if the witness said that it is unusual?
According to Senate Minority Leader and Senator Judge Alan Peter Cayetano, he seemed to remind the Senate Impeachment Court that equating an unusual transaction doesn't automatically mean it's an illegal one. And Cayetano recalled that while serving as Foreign Affairs Secretary, he once had a similar arrangement when it comes to withdrawal of about between 50 million and 100 million to assist passengers or individuals stranded during a major storm under his term. His point, a large government cash withdrawal may be rare, but its size and form alone does not mean, or it does not prove, that a crime was actually committed. That's the latest here at the Senate. Back to you, Mai.
Hana, itong confidential funds ng OVP was also the center of allegations of Ramil Madriaga, yung nagpakilalang former aide ni VP Sara Duterte, at sinabi nga niya doon sa kanyang sworn affidavit na nagastos ito in less than 24 hours at hindi 11 days. So si Madriaga ba is also on the witness list? Maipipresenta ba siya ng prosecution?
May doon sa ating huling monitoring, ang pinag-uusapan ay yung sa pagdating dito sa 4 transactions made na about 500 million pesos or kalahating bilyong piso na ginawa na pag-withdraw ng Office of the Vice President doon nga sa Land Bank. Pagdating dito kay Ramil Madriaga, wala pa tayong nakakausap mula sa House Prosecution Panel sa ngayon. Pero kanina pinag-uusapan doon sa Impeachment Court kung meron bang potential witness na maipipresenta pagdating sa kung sino yung pwedeng mag-educate sa Senate Impeachment Court pagdating sa proseso ng confidential and intelligence funds. Sabi naman ng Prosec at Defense ay meron daw silang nireserve na witnesses para dyan. Mai.
Maraming salamat, Hannah T, live from the Senate. Let's get the side of the defense in today's trial. My live report, si Dexter Ganibe mula doon sa Senado. Dexter, ano ang sinabi ng depensa?
May hindi na nagsagawa ng cross-examination ang depensa doon sa unang testigo ng prosekusyon na isinalang kaninang umaga. Sa simula pa lang kasi May ay nag-stipulate na sa open court itong si Attorney Michael Powa na wala na silang question doon sa mga ipipresentang cheque at maging doon sa kredibilidad ng testigo ng prosekusyon. Kaya ang nangyari, ang mga senator judges na ang nagsagawa ng interjection sa witness. Dito nga lumabas May yung issue ng pagiging unusual sa pagtatanong ni Senator Erwin Tulfo. Dito sinabi ni Violeta Constantino na unusual yung naging bank transaction ng Office of the President doon sa Mandaluyong branch ng Land Bank nung siya pa ang manager dito. Nilinaw naman ni Constantino kay Senator Rapi Tulfo na 4 na malalaking gym bag ang pinaglagyan ng mga na-in-cash na pera ng Office of the Vice President. Sa pagtatanong nga ni Senator Bamakino, sinabi ni Violeta na unusual nga yung transaction pero hindi ito suspicious yung bank transaction dahil legit naman umano at kumpleto naman sila doon sa mga requirement na hinihingi ng bangko. Sabi naman ni Violeta kay Senator Risa Hontiveros na ito yung pinakauna niyang pagkakataon sa tanang buhay niya bilang manager ng Land Bank na magkaroon ng isang single transaction na abot ng 100 milyong piso sa pagpoproseso nga nitong mga 4 na cheque ng Office of the Vice President. Mai?
Sumalang na rin ngayon ang ikalawang testigo ng prosecution. Nagsagawa din ba ng cross-examination ang depensa?
May kung kanina sa unang testigo ay hindi na nag-cross-examine itong si Attorney Michael Powa. Dito sa pangalawang testigo na si Nelita Camposano, nagtanong lang siya, isang katanungan lang dahil nais niyang i-clarify yung sa naging statement niya doon sa direct examination ng prosecution kung bakit nga ba dumaan doon sa fire exit yung tauhan ng OBP na may dala ng pina-encash na pera. Ang gusto palitawin dito ng depensa na for security yung ginawa ng tauhan ng OVP na may dala ng ganong kalaking pera mula doon sa DepEd branch ng Land Bank. Kaya doon sa fire exit at yung land bank din kasi ay nasa loob lang din ng compound ng Department of Education. Mai?
Pero Dexter, hindi pa makakapagpresenta ng ebidensya ang defense dito because they opposed an article-by-article presentation of evidence, hindi ba? So papatapusin pa papatapusin pa nila yung prosecution on all 4 articles of impeachment?
Tama ka dyan, Mai. Dahil kaninang umaga, kinumpirma nga ni Senate President Win Gatchalian na bagamat pumapayag, nag-submit nga ng kanilang manifestation ang prosecution na payag sila doon sa article by article na proseso ng trial. Pero ang defense daw ay nagpadala sa kanya ng liham, sabi ni SP Win, na hindi sila pumapayag doon sa ganong estilo at kailangang sundin yung naunang desisyon ng impeachment court na tatapusin muna lahat ng prosekusyon yung 4 na articles bago sila naman ang magpepresenta ng kanilang mga testigo at ng mga ebidensya. Mai?
So it would take a very long time pa bago natin marinig ang side ng depensa. Maraming salamat. Dexter Ganibe live from the Senate. The prosecution and the defense clashed as House Prosecutor and Representative Laila De Lima delivered her opening statement outlining their case on the alleged misuse of confidential funds. The defense objected, arguing that her statement contains conclusions of law. May live report si Isaiah Mirafuentes mula din doon sa Senado. Isaiah, naging mainit ba ang pagtatalo?
Yes, may pang-10 araw na nga ng impeachment trial laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. At kanina nga, sa pagsisimula pa lamang ng paglilitis ay bahagyang naging mainit ang ang talakayan sa impeachment court. Doon pa lang yan sa opening statement ni Congresswoman Laila De Lima. At natuloy nga rin Mai ang pagsisimula ngayon ng presentation of evidence ng prosecution para sa Article 1 o yung kaugnay sa misuse of confidential funds ng Office of the Vice President. Sa pagsisimula ng paglilitis ngayong araw, bahagyang naging mainit ang sitwasyon sa impeachment court. Sunod-sunod kasi ang naging paglabag ni House Prosecutor Laila De Lima habang sinasabi ang kanyang opening statement. Wala pa ang paglilitis pero tila may konklusyon na raw si De Lima.
The evidence will show that she did. The evidence will reveal a pattern, a systemic course of conduct that, taken as a whole, demonstrates graft and corruption and betrayal of public trust.
With the permission of the Honorable De Lima, yes, Counsel for
Your Honors,
Respondent.
again, Your Honors, I think we have to object to the statements being made by the Honorable De Lima, with all due respect.
Matapos nito, inuutos ni Presiding Judge Senator Chis Escudero na i-strike out of record ang sinabi ni Congresswoman De Lima na tila inalmahan ng defense team dahil kahit pa nawala sa records, narinig na ito ng taong bayan. Pumabor naman dito si De Lima sa utos ng Presiding Judge, subalit iginiit niya na marami siyang malalagpasan sa kanyang opening statement. Ngunit ayon kay Escudero, hayaan ang ebidensya magsalita, hindi ang prosekusyon. Pero tila hindi tinablan si De Lima ng babala ng Presiding Judge.
Kapag ang isang impeachable officer, tulad ng pangalawang Pangulo, ay nabuso ang kapangyarihan sa paraang sumisira sa accountability o
Same objection, Your
sumusuway
Honor.
sa pananagutan, dapat pa ba siyang pagkatiwalaan? Dapat pa ba siyang manatili sa pwesto? Sa kabuuan ng ebidensya, makita ang hindi lang mga simpleng irregularidad ang nangyari.
Objection, Your Honor.
Malinaw
Again,
ito.
objection, Your Honor.
Honorable De Lima, I would have to
Sistematikong
stop
paraan.
you.
This is out of
I would have
line.
to stop you at this point. The continuing objection of the respondent is duly noted. I would have to stop you at this point.
And I have to
my
stop
due
now.
apologies, but kindly call your witness already.
Thank you, Your Honors. I submit. Thank you very much.
Hindi na nga natapos si De Lima, tinawag na lang ang unang testigo ng prosekusyon na si dating Land Bank Shaw Boulevard Branch Manager Violeta Constantino. May nitong mga nakaraang araw nga lumabas yung ilang mga ulat na may motion raw ang prosekusyon para mabago yung sequence of presentation of evidence sa impeachment court. Sa kasalukuyan niya kasi ang nasa rules of impeachment ay kailangan munang matapos ng prosekusyon ang lahat ng articles of impeachment sa pagpipresenta nila ng testigo at ebidensya bago magkaroon ng counter evidence ang depensa. Subalit may kanina nilinaw mismo ng prosekusyon na hindi sila ang nag-request nito, subalit ang mismong presiding judge na si Senator Chis Escudero at si Senate President Win Gatchalian raw ang nagrekomenda nito sa parehong prosekusyon at depensa. At kanina nga ay hindi na ito pinaboran ng impeachment court at bumalik na lang sila sa original na sequence ng presentation of evidence. Mai.
Isaiah, ano naman ang naging reaksyon ni Representative Laila de Lima dahil sa nangyari.
May hanggang sa mga oras na ito, wala pang binibitaw o binibigay na reaksyon si Laila de Lima sa mga media kaugnay nga sa pagpipigil sa kanya ni Presiding Judge Senator Chis Escudero na ituloy ang kanyang opening statement. Subalit kanina, ayon mismo kay Attorney Benjamin Tolosa Jr. na isa sa mga House Trial spokesperson, nire-respeto ng prosekusyon ang pagpipigil ni Escudero kay de Lima na tapusin ang kanyang opening statement. Pinaliwanag rin nila, Mai, kung bakit yun nangyari. Ang sabi ni Tolosa, ang pag-aakala raw nila, Mai, ay maaari silang magsabi ng kahit anong impormasyon o pahayag sa kanilang opening statement dahil may pagkakataon naman raw ang depensa na kontrahin o basagin yung mga pahayag. Subalit nga kanina, sinabi ni Senator Escudero na hindi ganon ang rules of impeachment at ayon kay Tolosa, susundin na lang daw nila ito. Mai.
Isaiah, ano naman ang reaksyon ng prosekusyon kaugnay sa hindi pagpabor ng impeachment court sa pagbabago ng sequence ng presentation of evidence?
May ang sinasabi sa atin ng prosekusyon kung bakit pumabor din sila dun sa nare-recommenda ni Senator Escudero at ni Senate President Gatchalian dahil nga posibleng maging paraan daw yung pagbabago ng sequence para mapabilis yung paglilitis. Pero ayon mismo kay Attorney Tolosa, rerespetuhin nila kung hindi man ito payagan dahil para sa kanila may binanggit din kanina ni Attorney Lorna Capuna na magbago-bago man ang sequence daw ng paglilitis ay handa sila at naniniwala sila na matitibay ang kanilang mga ebidensya laban kay VP Sara. Mai.
Maraming salamat, Isaiah Mira Fuentes, live mula sa Senado. A member of the Philippine Judicial Academy flagged some senator judges for allegedly going beyond asking clarificatory questions in the impeachment proceedings. On BNC's The Spokes, Professor Dante Gatmaitan said judges should only seek clarification and not conduct cross-examination or attempt to impeach witnesses. He warned such actions may raise questions of bias. He also said that if the number of active senators drops to 15, the Supreme Court could interpret the Constitution's two-thirds voting requirement.
If we said this 2 years ago, yun na nga. So what if there are only 15 left? Then do we interpret the Constitution to mean that, well, you cannot therefore have an impeachment or an official impeached because, well, it said two-thirds of all. Of all. On the other hand, yun na nga, that's the people are saying, well, you know, it didn't say 16, which means two-thirds of all could still be interpreted by the courts. To, you know, it sounds to me like an invitation to construe, you know, the Constitution. Kung kasi, if it's solid 16, they could have said 16 votes. And they said, but they didn't say that.
Yeah, so it could be interpreted as two-thirds of what? So again, it's what number?
There is no truth to reports that former President Rodrigo Duterte will be released from the custody of the International Criminal Court. That's according to Vice President Sara Duterte, who's still in The Hague in the Netherlands. Jill Sabandal has that story. Jill, what else did the Vice President say?
Hi, amid the growing speculation, the Vice President firmly denied claims circulating on social media that former President Rodrigo Duterte was set to be released from the ICC custody, stressing that no such a statement came from her and that the ICC or the court's public schedule reflects only the upcoming trial proceedings. Meanwhile, Vice President Sara Duterte also weighed in on the recent incidents of violence, sharing her view on what she believes are the deeper issues contributing to growing disorder and declining public discipline.
Ganyan kasi ang nangyayari, hindi lang sa kabataan, no, kundi sa lahat ng tao. Ganyan ang nangyayari kapag wala kasi nakikita na leadership. Nagkakanya-kanya yung mga tao. Kasi nawawala yung moral ascendancy nung nasa taas, yung mga nasa taas. Sinabi natin nasa taas, yung ating president, yung ating mga cabinet secretaries at iba pang nagtatrabaho sa Office of the President, kapag ganun yung nakikita ng mga tao, nawawala yung respeto. Kapag nawawala yung respeto, nagkakanya-kanya lahat ng tao. That is a manifestation of a weak leadership.
Beyond addressing the rumors, it was her remarks on the leadership made response to a question about the rise of violence amongst the youth that drew the greatest attention. While the impeachment issue remained unaddressed during the interview, Vice President Sara Duterte chose to focus her message on leadership, the condition of the former President Duterte, and what she described as the country's direction. Remarks are likely to fuel further political debate. Back to you, Mai.
Jill, balita ko may rally daw na gaganapin sa labas ng ICC ngayong araw as supporters continue to call for FPRRD's release. So what do the court's official proceedings actually show regarding his case?
Yes, Mai, actually gaganapin ang Free Duterte Now rally sa labas ng ICC mamaya 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. the Netherlands time, pero sa atin dito sa Pilipinas, that will be 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. At doon nga magkakasama sa rally ang anak ni former President Duterte na si VP Sara. And Mai, based on the ICC's official proceedings, there is no court order releasing former President Rodrigo Duterte from the ICC custody. At nililinaw din yan ni VP Sara dahil nga sa mga lumulutang online. And the trial process is continued to be scheduled as the ICC previously confirmed nga na yung charges against him, kaya nga lang yung rejected early bids ng interim release ay nakaset na for opening trial ngayong November 30. And subject daw yan, Mai, on the fitness and to stand for trial ni PRRD dahil nga yung July niya na status conference ay nakansela. And sinabi naman din ng kampo ng mga Duterte or ng parties, in-inform nila ang court that there were no issues requiring immediate attention, not because of any change in his detention status. Pero may nakaschedule yung next status conference ni PRRD sa September 16 as of now, and former President Duterte remains in the ICC custody. Back to you, Mai.
So para malinaw, Jill, walang hearing on FPRRD's release according to the case schedule of the ICC. At ang trial opening ay nakaset na for November 30?
Yes, Mai, that's correct. November 30 yung scheduled trial ni PRRD. Ngunit sa September 16 ay yung kanyang next status conference, Mai.
Thank you, Jill, sa Bandal reporting. Up next, Defense Chief Gibo Chodoro speaks about the resupply missions to Ayungin Shoal. The details and more stories after the break. Stay tuned to Midday Report. You're back on Midday Report. The Bureau of Internal Revenue files tax evasion cases against a POGO-linked company and others involving some 416 million pesos in alleged liabilities. The three cases filed before the Justice Department under the Run After Tax Evaders program cites the POGO-linked company Zun Yuan Technology, a construction firm, and two real estate sellers. The largest case involves Zun Yuan Tech and its officers who allegedly failed to pay taxes and provide accurate tax returns estimated at over 402 million pesos. The BIR also charged AEP Construction and two real estate sellers with tax deficiencies amounting to over 6 million and 7 million pesos respectively. The agency says it will continue pursuing individuals and businesses that deliberately evade tax obligations, regardless of industry or scheme. Tax expert Mon Abrea says the government can't afford to increase the tax-exempt income threshold to 400,000 pesos. On BNC's memo, Abrea said raising the threshold would fully cover the second income tax bracket. During his fifth SONA, President Bongbong Marcos called for raising the tax-exempt income threshold to 350,000 pesos.
Kasi yung first bracket, 0 to 250,000, exempt na under train law. Then yung next bracket, 250,000 to 400,000, 15% yung tax.
Hindi pa sinagad.
Hindi pa sinagad. Sabi ko nga, ano ba naman, 50,000 na lang, hindi pa tinodo para yung second bracket, 0 na rin. Then ang proposal namin, may phase 2, 400 to 800,000, which is 20% untaxed, is 0 na rin, pero next year. Honestly, possible siya kasi pag inaudit mo lang lahat yung unexplained wealth, yung mga hindi nagbabayad ng buwis, siguro more than 1 trillion kaya natin makolekta.
The Department of Information and Communications Technology is pushing for data localization, saying it could attract more tech investments, lowering operating costs and improve digital services. On BNC's On Point, DICT Undersecretary David Almirol said around 90% of government data is still hosted on foreign cloud services, discouraging hyperscalers from investing in the Philippines. He said localizing government data could encourage global tech firms and startups to build infrastructure and invest in the country.
Yung ating mga hyperscaler, pag nakita na nila that the government establish our own data localization, I believe that instead na sila mag-build sa Singapore o ibang lugar, they will come here and invest here. Kasi the reason why they need to come here, kasi alam nilang mas mura pag nandito sila. They will save more. Kasi ang data, yung pag-query mo ng data, hindi na pupunta sa ibang bansa, nandito na mismo. Like yung mga bangko natin, ang gamit nila, more likely, di ba, yung iba foreign cloud ang ginagamit nila. Pag nakita nila na yung national ID example, yung query mechanism, yung eGov Super App, yung ating e-signature, yung digital ID, at alam nilang mas mabilis pag nasa Pilipinas yung data, syempre lahat ng mga investors ngayon, especially sa mga tech startups, pupunta rito sa ating bansa.
An interactive learning exhibit was inaugurated today to show the future of the country's energy sector. Ivy Reyes is reporting live from Malacanang. Go ahead, Ivy.
Yes, Mai, the country's first energy museum opens today in Taguig City with President Bongbong Marcos and Energy Secretary Sara Duterte inaugurating the interactive learning exhibit. This coincides with the 25th anniversary of the APIR law, or the Electric Power Industry Reform Act of 2001, which the president is seeking to amend. The Energy Museum is a 1,160 square meter facility designed for students to learn and appreciate how energy is generated from various power sources, including geothermal, hydropower, natural gas, solar, wind, and battery energy storage. According to the president, this immersive exhibit is beyond an investment into the awareness of the youth, but a motivation for them to see the future of the country's energy sector and be one of its engineers in the future. Marcos also praised Secretary Garin and commended her for delivering her commitments to the people all the time. Garin is also confident that her team can deliver PBBM's demand of scrapping system loss fees, but on whether the government is ready to subsidize power corporations in lieu of these charges, the secretary advised these utilities to be more effective instead. Garin explained that any loss should not be carried by consumers. Partner companies of this project include Aboitiz Power, First Gen Renewables, Prime Energy Corporation, San Miguel Corporation, and Citicorp. Meanwhile, Mai on Palace Matters, Malacanang hits back on the Duterte bloc's recent pronouncements, including Vice President Sara Duterte's statement that the recent State of the Nation address is a waste of time. As for the palace, the actual waste of time are baseless accusations coming from the Duterte bloc. Malacanang also notes that disrespect to the state address also means disrespect to the Constitution. And my own presidential sister and Senator Amy Marcos's recent video implying Palace Press Officer Claire Castro as, quote, impacta, Castro directly addressed the senator and said, "It takes one to know one." This is the latest on the palace's continuing exchanges with the Duterte siblings and their allies. Mai.
Ivy, did Malacanang say anything about the impeachment trial, which entered day 10 today?
Yes, Mai, on Senator Rodante Marcoleta's manifestation to be allowed entry into the impeachment court despite his detention, Malacanang said this would seem like special treatment and special treatment given to these senators who were ruled suspended by the court. But as Malacanang stands, the decision does not lie on the executive but on the courts. Mai.
Thank you, Ivy Reyes, joining us live from Malacanang. The country's defense chief is unaware of a supposed agreement between the Philippines and China on resupply missions to Ayungin Shoal. Lade Gabagani is on the phone for more on this story. Go ahead, Lade.
Yes, Mai, the government continues to stand firm in upholding national security amid the issues in the West Philippine Sea and illegal operations in the country. Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. said he is unaware of the alleged provisional agreement between the Philippines and China regarding resupply missions to Ayungin Shoal, where the commissioned Philippine Navy warship serves as the country's military outpost. PRP Sierra Madre is located. According to him, if the versions of both sides differ, it is difficult to consider it is a genuine agreement. Teodoro added that he will not comment on something that has not been proven to exist and is also part of national security matters. Meanwhile, the Defense Secretary also clarified that the Philippine government is not targeting legitimate Chinese businessmen who are following Philippine laws. He said they are focusing on businesses involved in illegal activities or those possibly connected to subversive operations. Teodoro mentioned the cases of fake passports and other counterfeit documents recently discovered, which he said put the security of Filipinos at risk and may be connected to human trafficking. The secretary emphasized that the goal of the government's operations is to crack down on the illegal activities that harm society, the environment, and national security, and not specific race or nationality. Mai?
Laid to clarify, is Secretary Teodoro casting doubt on reports of the supposed provisional agreement regarding the resupply missions to Ayungin Shoal?
My Secretary Teodoro said he could neither confirm or deny the existence of such an agreement, but he pointed out conflicting versions from both sides. He said inconsistencies make him believe there may have been no agreement at all. He also stressed that military operations continue to be guided by national security and operational requirements, while leaving it to the Department of Foreign Affairs to clarify the matter. When asked why such an agreement would be even necessary given the 2016 arbitral award, Teodoro questioned whether any agreement truly exists. He said military operations remained guided and maintained that no understanding has been established by proven facts. Mai?
Thank you, Lade Gabagani, reporting. Up next, a teen rookie lifeguard goes viral after saving a 10-year-old boy at a California beach. That and more news around the world, plus the latest in sports and the weather after the break. Iran launched multiple ballistic missiles at U.S. forces in the Middle East in what the U.S. military called a surprise attack. The U.S. military said all of the missiles were successfully intercepted with no target locations disclosed. In response, U.S. and Saudi forces carried out strikes on Iran-aligned targets in Iraq. The U.S. said the strikes were in retaliation for more than 30 Iranian drone attacks over the past 72 hours. Iran has not yet commented at the latest exchange ends a brief lull in the fighting. In Japan, a 7.1 magnitude earthquake has killed at least 13 people near Kumamoto in the southern part of the country. Rescuers are racing to find survivors trapped under the rubble as thousands of homes remain without power and several roads have been damaged. Prime Minister Sanay Takaichi says they're using all available resources to speed up rescue operations.
The government is also working at full capacity to restore infrastructure, including electricity, as there are areas currently experiencing power outages and water disruptions. In the meantime, the self-defense forces are providing emergency water supplies and transporting patients.
8 people were pulled alive from a partially collapsed shopping mall where 2 women were killed in an explosion that happened after the quake. A heroic ocean rescue in California has gone viral online. Video shows 16-year-old rookie lifeguard Ryder Williams rescuing a 10-year-old boy who was swept about 15 yards offshore by rough waves at Seabright State Beach in Santa Cruz. The rescue took just over 2 minutes, with others also helping save the child. President Donald Trump has since invited Ryder to the White House to receive a high civilian honor. Filipina tennis star Alex Ayala kept her strong form going with another big win at the Mubadala DC Open. Mark Patriarca has the story.
Very recently in Birmingham.
Alex Ayala turned a 1-set deficit into another statement win as the Filipina tennis star rallied past China's Zheng Qinwen to reach the round of 16 of the Mubadala DC Open. Ayala fought back for a 4-6, 6-4, 6-1 victory in her first tournament of the North American hardcourt swing. The world number 28 found herself in trouble after dropping the opening set and trailing 4-3 in the second.
Very aggressive.
But Ayala refused to let the match slip away.
Yeah, that's really well done.
She won 3 straight games, including 2 breaks of serve, to take the second set and force a decider. Ayala said her coach reminded her to stay in every point and wait for her opportunity.
He said that, just I have to keep going because if I'm there every ball, I'll have my chances. And I did. Like always, he's right.
Ayala carried that momentum into the third set and raced to a 4-0 lead. Zheng finally broke the serve to get on the board, but Ayala responded with another break before serving out the match. The win also gave Ayala a measure of revenge against the former world number 4. Zheng beat the Filipina in their previous meeting during the semifinals of the 2023 Hangzhou Asian Games. This time, Ayala finished stronger and did it in front of a large Filipino crowd in her Washington, D.C. debut. The challenge now gets even more interesting. Ayala will face Filipino-Canadian Leila Fernandez for a place in the quarterfinals. Fernandez is the defending Mubadala DC Open champion and the 7th seed this year. After completing one comeback against a former top 4 player, Ayala now takes on the defending champion as her Washington run continues. Mark Patriarca, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Reigning Ironman queen Leanne Ramo is hoping more athletes from Lanao del Norte get the same opportunities she received. The triathlete said the growing partnership between the Philippine Sports Commission and the provincial government could help shape the next generation of champions. Zeus Valdez of Abante tells us more.
Reigning Ironman champion Leanne Ramo believes Lanao del Norte is moving in the right direction as the province continues to invest in grassroots sports development. Speaking in the Lanao del Norte Sports and Youth Summit, Ramo said she hopes the strengthened collaboration between the Philippine Sports Commission and the provincial government will open more doors for young athletes to train, compete, and represent the province on bigger stages.
I'm really hoping na mag-continue yung mga sporting activities dito sa Lanao del Norte and masuportaan ng PSC, yung activities and sports and athletes here in Lanao del Norte para mag-improve pa sila and ma-expose and para mas better yung future ng mga athletes here in the province.
Ramos said she continues to prepare for upcoming triathlon events while staying active in marathons and cycling competitions. She also stressed that no athlete succeeds alone, crediting her coaches, teammates, sports organizations, and the local government for providing free access to training facilities at the Mindanao Civic Center. Support that she said has been instrumental in her success. The athlete's message reflected the main thrust of the summit's second day, which shifted its focus from sports infrastructure to athlete development, sports promotion, and responsible sports communication. Through seminars for coaches, media practitioners, and digital content creators, organizers aim to build a stronger sports ecosystem that will help more athletes like Ramo reach their full potential. With continued investment in athletes, coaches, and sports education, Lanao del Norte hopes to produce more homegrown champions while strengthening its bid to become one of the country's leading centers for sports development. Zeus Valdez, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
The camp of Filipino boxer Charlie Suarez is pushing to secure a rematch with Mexican Emmanuel Navarrete this year. Anton Rojas has the details.
Charlie Suarez may finally be closing in on his long-awaited world title rematch against WBO junior lightweight champion Emmanuel Navarrete. In an exclusive interview on BNC's The Scorecard, Suarez's promoter Samson Lefkowitz said he will begin negotiations with Navarrete's camp and Top Rank and expects the rematch to take place before the end of the year. Suarez has been waiting for another shot at Navarrete since their controversial first meeting in May 2025. Navarrete was initially declared the winner by technical decision after the fight was stopped due to a cut. The result was later overturned to a no contest after the cut was determined to have been caused by a legal punch. The WBO later ordered a rematch, but Navarrete went in another direction. Now, Lefkowitz says Suarez will not be passed over again.
I can guarantee to all Filipinos that Navarrete will not take an interim fight any longer because already he did it the first time. The problem with Charlie Suarez, he didn't have a promoter that he defended. So he was without a promoter. And Delphine is trainer and manager. He make a good decision. And I'm so proud of both of them to choose me, and I will fight like a warrior myself to get what we plan to do, that is to bring another champion to Philippines.
Suarez strengthened his case with a first-round knockout of Manuel Avila in his latest fight. The 37-year-old remains in the United States and is expected to resume training after a short break. Lefkowitz believes the rematch could take place as early as October or November and has urged Suarez to stay in America to prepare. And his promoter is not just confident the fight will happen, he is already predicting how it will end.
He will knock out Navarrete, especially because it was an interview yesterday with Navarrete, ESPN, I believe, an interview, and he looked giant, probably 160 pounds or maybe more. And he said that he doesn't train till he gets the date and doesn't know anything about it. So, which is mean, I believe that he's not hungry enough to beat a warrior like Charlie Suarez.
After more than a year of waiting, Suarez may finally be moving closer to his second shot at Navarrete. This time, his camp believes the Filipino challenger will return home with the world title. Anton Rojas, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Two Filipino surfers delivered strong finishes at the U.S. Open of Surfing in California. Our U.S. correspondent Steve Angeles reports.
After a strong effort and a come-from-behind quarterfinals win, La Union's Jo Maria Bueza finished in equal third of the U.S. Open after falling to American and eventual champion Tommy Coleman in the semifinals. This is Bueza's second time at the U.S. Open, making it to the top 16 last year.
Sobrang saya kasi nakapasok ako ng semifinals and nakapasok ako sa finals day, and this is my first time to be in the semifinals. this year. So super happy. Yeah.
Did you learn a lot about yourself, about the sport, just different things today?
Yeah, like I learned a lot. Super happy, and I learned like I need to. I got some good waves, good score, but yeah, not bad. Number 3 in the world. Yeah.
J.R. Esquivel, who had a top 2 finish in 2024 and a 3rd place finish last year, faced some tough waves during the competition, ending this campaign in 9th place. Despite his early exit, he led the large Filipino cheering squad, showing their support for Ebueza.
Super happy and super a lot of Filipino fans. They're supporting me, and yeah, super stoked, and yeah, next year again.
No matter the results, the 5-day Open was a celebration of Pinoy pride and the Bayanihan spirit on the sands of Surf City, as local Pinoys put up their barangay HB tent.
So much fun. I mean, if you look, everyone's laughing, smiling, even though we don't have any more competitors in the finals. Everyone's still sticking around. We're going to start cooking burgers.
They love this break. This is just like La Union. So they feel at home here, and everyone, all the Filipinos being here, it just energizes them. We're very satisfied. Joe Marie got all the way to the semis, showed what he's, he belongs here, and, he can go toe-to-toe with the best.
The 2 Filipino surfers will take on another Southern California competition next week at the King of the Pier, a premier Pro-Am longboard surfing invitational in Oceanside.
It's always good vibes in Surf City, especially at Barangay HB, where the 2 top 10 finishes has helped them accumulate points as these Philippine surfers try to qualify for next year's World Championships in El Salvador. Steve Angeles, Bilyonaryo News Channel, Huntington Beach, California.
Two low-pressure areas are now being monitored by PAG-ASA. One LPA is located near Camarines Sur. This will be moving across southern Luzon, and it's expected to cross to the West Philippine Sea tomorrow, and PAG-ASA says it should dissipate soon. But this is now bringing scattered rains over large parts of Luzon, particularly Metro Manila, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, parts of Cagayan Valley, Mimaropa, and the Bicol region. Meanwhile, the second LPA is still outside the Philippine area of responsibility. PAG-ASA says this is moving east and it's unlikely to affect the country's weather. Also, the easterlies is adding to the rains over Ilocos and Cagayan, as well as the Cordillera region and Cagayan Valley. Checking the forecast in the Visayas, rainy weather as well, ranging from light to moderate in most parts of the central Philippines. It could get heavy over Antique, parts of Bohol and Negros, as well as the Samar provinces in the evening. We're seeing wet conditions also in Mindanao, moderate to at times heavy over Bukidnon, Agusan del Sur, and Surigao del Sur, mostly in the evening as well. Other areas should get light rains and localized thunderstorms like the Zamboanga Peninsula and also for the Davao region. That's how skies are shaping up. Remember to check PAG-ASA's rainfall advisories in your location. Calling all multi-stands, a massive celebration of Hallyu is on the way. South Korea has announced Fanomenon, an 11-day festival dedicated to K-pop, K-culture, and the fans who power the Hallyu wave. The event is a joint project of HYBE, JYP Entertainment, SM Entertainment, and YG Entertainment, home of the biggest K-pop acts. The inaugural Fanomenon is set for December 2 to 12, 2027 in Seoul and Goyang. And it's expected to bring 500,000 spectators from both in and out of South Korea. British singer-songwriter Sam Smith confirms their engagement to fashion designer Christian Cohen. The unholy hitmaker revealed that their upcoming album Hazel Eyes was inspired by Cohen's eyes and their 3-year relationship. Smith, who has identified as non-binary since 2019, uses they-them pronouns. Filipino fans last saw the singer during the Gloria Tour in the Philippines in October 2023. OPM icon Kulit Desma shares that she was once a nursing student before pursuing a full-time career in music. On BNC's The Daily Dish, she recalled how she was fortunate to come from a middle-income family and receive her mother's support as she followed her passion for singing. And now, as she looks back on her journey, she shares the legacy and advice that she hopes to leave for the younger generation.
I think I'm a very seasoned artist, singer, and what I'd like to leave behind, especially to the young people, is to be careful with the songs that they listen to, that they sing, knowing so much more about, the truth from the Bible. There's one scripture from the book of Proverbs, which is the book of wisdom from Solomon, and it's Proverbs 18:21, that life and death is in the power of the tongue, and he who loves it will eat its fruit. So if you keep, and the words in songs, they become reality to you. So it gets kids in a lot of trouble.
And to cap off the conversation, the OPM icon gave us a special treat with a live performance.
How did you know I needed someone like you in my life? There was an empty space in my heart. You came at the right time in my life. I'll never forget how you brought the sun to shine in my life and took all the worries and fears.
She is timeless. And that's the Midday Report. I'm Mai Rodriguez. See you again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Stay informed and stay safe.